Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to this update. So let's see how the Atlantic is doing and also the Eastern Pacific. So first the Atlantic here. So now we have this area in orange. So it's now at a 40% chance of formation there. So let's see. An area of disturbed weather over the central tropical Atlantic is expected to interact with an approaching tropical wave during the next couple of days. Environmental conditions are forecast to become conducive for some development thereafter, and the tropical depression could form mid to late week while the system is near or over the northern Leeward Islands, Greater Antilles, or southwestern Atlantic Ocean. So 0% next 2 days, 5% in the next 7 days. So this is what they have here, and the Eastern Pacific, they now have 3 areas. One is already in red, so a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms located a few hundred miles south of the southern coast of Mexico is associated with a tropical wave. Environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development of the system, and a tropical depression is likely to form during the middle part of the week. The system is forecast to move westward to west-northwestward 10 to 15 miles per hour during the next several days, remaining offshore of the southern coast of Mexico. So 20% and 70% chance. So, but it will likely stay only not affecting land. But I'll show you the models later. So let's see. They also have this area in the central portion of the basin, about 30% there, 30% chance. So they say an area low pressure could form by the middle part of next week, well into the southwest of the southern tip of Baja Peninsula. Some slow development of the system is possible in mid to later parts of the week, while it moves westward to west-northwestward. So be aware. And then there's this other small area at 30% chance the next 7 days. Another area of low pressure could form offshore the coast of Central America and southern Mexico towards the end of the week. Some gradual development of the system is possible thereafter. It moves generally westward. So most likely this won't affect land too, but we will keep watching it. But let's focus in the Atlantic now and check some models, and in the end we'll check some models for the Eastern Pacific. So let's see here the latest GFS. So it has the disturbance there, and then it goes kind of to the south of Cuba, and then forms something potentially in the Gulf going into Florida there. So this is the latest run. It has something going to Florida by August 6th there. But I'm not sure how this will play out if this happens, because the GFS has the disturbance crossing by Hispaniola and Cuba. There's a lot of mountains and land there that might tear apart this system. So it only shows it forming after getting to the Gulf of Mexico, but those islands there might disrupt it first. So this is the latest GFS, the 12Z, and the 6Z was, let's see here, the 6Z had the disturbance there, going like south of Cuba, and then trying to form something near Louisiana, but not really making it. So only the 12Z from today is forming this system, and the 0Z from today has the disturbance there. It keeps going, tracks like through the islands there, but it doesn't form into anything. So only the 12Z GFS is taking that system into Florida there. So yeah, but let's see the European. So this is 60. I don't know if it goes far out enough, but it has the disturbance there in the ocean approaching the Lesser Antilles, but then this run is over. So and I don't think the 12Z is out yet, but I think it will be out like in less than an hour. But meanwhile, let's just check the 0Z. So it has the disturbance there, continuing kind of there and getting itself together near the Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas, going slightly north there, then strengthening more like near the coast to the southeast and curving north, potentially affecting Atlantic Canada later. But this is the latest 0Z from the European, forming that system near the Bahamas there. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. And the 12C from yesterday had like the disturbance there. It kept going, and then it got itself together like in the same area. But the 12Z from yesterday had it right over the Bahamas, and the 0Z from today had it just east of the Bahamas. So a better sign for them, but there's still a lot of uncertainty. So let's see here some stuff. So this is the tropical depression probabilities there from the latest European. So I think that yellow is like 30 to 40%, more like 50%. I'm not sure, but it has some decent probabilities there of a tropical depression. And this is like the tropical storm probabilities. They're like 15 to 20% probabilities in like the parts near the Bahamas, and even to 30% there. So, and this is the tropical storm probabilities later as it curves near the northeast. So some higher probabilities there, about 30%, as it goes just north of the Bahamas, passes near the northeast, and some weaker probabilities around it. And this is some ensembles there. So like active cyclone locations within 9.25 days. So it has there some members. Most members now are going just east of the Bahamas, but there are still 1 or 2 members like in the Bahamas there, and those blues are like tropical storm, and that red is potentially a hurricane. So, and they have more reds as it goes north, but in that point it might be some extra tropical, but you never know. And it even has 1 member there in the Gulf going into Louisiana, so that has been a trend too. So you never know. So let's see something else here. So first, some tropical storm probabilities. So this is tropical storm strike probabilities for this system. So they have like 10 to 20% tropical storm strike probabilities through the Bahamas and through Florida there. So we will keep tracking this, and this is tropical cyclone genesis probabilities. So like just general tropical cyclone probabilities, like probability of cyclone genesis, this turning into a cyclone. So the dimensions here says tropical storm, so this like tropical storm probabilities. So let's take a look. So by August 1st, still nothing. By August 2nd, it starts showing some little probabilities there, around 5%, and then by August 3rd, 10 to 20% probabilities through the Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas. Through August 4th, it already has some 30 to 40% chance there in the orange for the Bahamas, and some 50% chance in the yellow just east of the Bahamas, getting some islands there. But by August 5th, it has more, 50% through the Bahamas in the yellow, some 30 to 40% in the orange, and some 10 to 20% like over Florida there, even some 30% in southeastern Florida. But then it starts getting that 60% there in the green. I think that's like 50 to 60% in the green there. So be aware, the highest probabilities are just east of the Bahamas, maybe affecting those northern islands there. And then later, by August 6th, that green area gets larger, so more 60% there, like out in the ocean, and I think that's where it might strengthen more, just off the southeast, and some 30 to 40% in the orange already branching into more Florida, and some 40 to 50% in the yellow in the northern Bahamas. So by August 7th, it continues there, going near the coast, and that 50 to 60% green area is just in the ocean there, but the yellow, like 40 to 50%, is already close to North Carolina there in some areas, and the 30 to 40% in the orange getting parts of the East Coast too, and then later this might affect Atlantic Canada like 10 to 20%. So and then by August 8th, it keeps going through the ocean there near the East Coast, and then it gets like some higher probabilities in Atlantic Canada and some more in the East Coast, but I don't think this will hit the East Coast. You'll stay like over the ocean, and the remnants might affect Atlantic Canada there. So this is the latest tropical storm probabilities. If I put here like tropical cyclones, so if I put generally just tropical cyclones, so let's see. So tropical cyclone probability is generally like just tropical depression probability of any cyclone genesis, just like a strong low pressure or tropical depression. So this is generally like the tropical depression probability. So you can see it's tremendously high in the Pacific with that system there, like almost 100%. And let's see, by Wednesday, July 31st, we start getting already some probabilities there just east of the Lesser Antilles. By August 1st, we get some higher probabilities. That dark green there is like 60 to 70%, and already branching to the Lesser Antilles. So the Euro shows a good chance of cyclone genesis even before it passes by the islands there. But the operational model is not showing that. It's showing it forming in the Bahamas later. But I guess we'll see. But this by August 1st. By August 2nd, it already has some higher, like 70% probabilities in that blue there, passing just north of Puerto Rico, and even getting Puerto Rico too. Some 60% in the dark green, already touching the Dominican Republic, the Northeastern Caribbean. So some very high probabilities there. By August 3rd, still some 70% chance in the southwestern Atlantic, like the northern Dominican Republic and near Puerto Rico, and we start getting those dark blues there. That's like some 80% chance there, 70 to 80% chance. So that's some very high probabilities of a tropical depression there. So just south of the Turks and Caicos there, that 80%. So be aware, by August 4th, as this keeps going, it shows more 70% through the Bahamas, like 60 to 70%, and even a dark blue spot area like 70 to 80%, but just in a small area. And then the yellows and the oranges like 40 to 50% and those stuff. And then by August 5th, it keeps going up, still some 60 to 70% chance in the Bahamas, and some like 20 to 40% chance in Florida, and let's see, and even some 50%. By August 6th, this keeps going into the ocean just north of the Bahamas, and already some 30% chance in parts of the southeast, and like 60% chance in the middle of the ocean there, just off the coast. And then it keeps going, like August 7th, still shows like 50 to 60% chance in the ocean there, and some 30 to 50% near the coast there. And then it keeps going. By August 8th, it shows still some 40 to 50% chance in the ocean there, and some like 10 to 30% chance in Atlantic Canada and parts of the East Coast. But as we go to August 9th, it increases a little bit more for Canada, but still some 20 to 40, 50% chance there of cyclone genesis in those areas. But by that point, if the storm forms, it will be already formed there. So it could affect Atlantic Canada too. So be aware later. And if I put this to like hurricane strength, let's see what it has. So July 31st, nothing. By August 1st, nothing. July and August 2nd, nothing. And August 3rd, still nothing. And August 4th, nothing. And August 5th, nothing. As by August 6th, they start giving some hurricane probabilities just off the east coast there by August 6th. So this could try to get into a hurricane if it even forms, like in the ocean there near the east coast, but very low probabilities. By August 7th, still some hurricane probabilities there, and August 8th, still there, and August 9th, it diminishes. But yeah, you never know. So let's see some other models. So the Canadian here has, so it has there kind of the disturbance there, very weak, and it goes just south of Cuba there, continues through Cuba and turns into something in the Gulf there, potentially a strong tropical storm there, hitting Florida by August 5th. So both the GFS and the Canadian are showing it going to the Gulf, and the Euro is showing it going near the coast in the southeast. So let's see, keeps going there, and let's see some more ensemble here. So let's jump here to August 2nd. So by August 2nd, the European array has some ensembles to tropical depression strength there near the Turks and Caicos, and let's see some weaker low pressures near the northeastern Caribbean. And then by August 4th, it has even some greens there and maybe a yellow, some tropical storm probabilities in the Bahamas, and some most of the ensembles like tropical depression in the dark blue, but you can see there's some greens and some yellows that will be like tropical storm. So let's see. By August 6th, some ensembles take this into the Gulf there, like tropical storm strength in the Gulf, but most take it towards the east there. And there are some really crazy ensembles like the orange and the red ones showing like hurricane strength in that red and orange ensembles there in the ocean. So only some members are showing that, but you never know, it's possible. And even some crazy ensembles showing like some pinks there. They'll be like strong hurricane, but don't trust that. Like only 1 or 2 members are showing that, and I doubt this will be a strong hurricane with the current conditions we have there. But most members are showing like tropical storm there, tropical depression, mainly tropical storm going through there. And if I put this to 240 hours, the end of the forecast, it keeps going there. Some ensembles still showing hurricane strength through the northwestern Atlantic, and many take this near Atlantic Canada there, the remnants. So a very busy look here from the ensembles. So lots of probabilities for this to form there. So we'll keep monitoring this, and the GFS ensembles, so that were the Euro. So this is the GFS ensembles. Some ensembles take this into the Gulf there, but now there are more GFS ensembles showing this forming just east of the Bahamas there, and going into the open Atlantic there. Even an ensemble going to Florida, tropical depression, tropical storm, some just off the southeast. So the GFS is kind of figuring out there. So let's see here something else, but this is mainly it for the forecast on this system. Let's just see one last thing here. So wait. So there's still a lot of dry air there in the Atlantic, especially near the islands, some areas. So that blue area there is the tropical wave we are talking about, but there's still a lot of dry air to the north of it there. So let's see here. The European model shows it keeps going, and the dry air diminishes a little bit, and but still a lot of dry air there. But then the wave keeps going and manages to avoid the dry air a little bit. So let's see the GFS. So it has like the wave there, and it also manages to kind of avoid the dry air and forming the Gulf there. But now the wind shear, so let's see. It's still strong in the Caribbean there, near the southeast, but it's like projected to get a little bit better, so that there is the disturbance. It keeps going and it shows the wind shear getting a little bit better, maybe still strong there in the ocean, but the GFS has this going to the Gulf, and then this forms there, and the wind shear kind of gets stronger, but there might be some outflow or something else, but kind of manages to avoid the worst of the shear. So let's see. I don't know if the European model has also the wind shear. So the tropical waves is like there, in that area there. So it keeps going, still some strong wind shear in the Caribbean, but then it keeps going there. So like that's the wave, that low pressure, and it manages to avoid the wind shear in the Caribbean. Then it keeps going. So this might work out because it shows the wind shear diminishing there a little bit. And yeah, so I guess we'll see what the next updates look like, and stay safe. But my opinion is that you should definitely be aware in the northeastern Caribbean and Puerto Rico and those areas, but I think this will likely form just near the Bahamas there and go towards the north. So the last run showed it forming just east of the Bahamas, but you are all in the area to watch there. So I wouldn't be making like preparations yet because it's still uncertain, but definitely be watching the system, monitoring the updates, and be very aware in that whole area. So in the Eastern Pacific, the European has some more rain there, but nothing really forming. Maybe a small cyclone later by August 1st, but doesn't have anything big. The Zero Sea had like that small cyclone trying to form there, getting to like a tropical storm by August 2nd there, but this is something trying to form later by August 6th. And let's see, the GFS has that system forming pretty quickly there, and then going out and strengthening, and then it has another system forming back behind it and strengthening there, and then in the end of the run it has another system there trying to form too. And let's see, and the Central Pacific, it has those systems coming in there, but going just north of Hawaii, but we better watch too. I think the GFS is kind of crazy with that strength, but we'll keep monitoring. Let's see the Canadian for the Eastern Pacific. So where is it here? So it has that system forming there too, and then that bigger one later forming there. And yeah, so for now they are projected to go out to sea, but we'll keep monitoring. And in terms of rainfall for today in the Caribbean, it shows more rain in Central America. So this is the next 33 hours, more in Nicaragua, Honduras, some more rains and storms, more in Guatemala, some rain in Belize today, but more in southern Mexico there, Florida, some showers in the northeastern Caribbean, maybe a storm or two in Puerto Rico, some showers in the Dominican Republic, southeastern Cuba, maybe in the Bahamas, more rain in Southern America, South America, Trinidad and Tobago. So be aware there, those rains, and we'll make another update tomorrow. So this is it now. So thanks for watching.